to the fourth course on called Automating Your Accounting of the Building a Recession-Proof Business. David Richter, and automating your accounting. I love automation. I actually, in a past life, was a Podio builder where I would build Podio systems for real estate investors, and I love systems and automation. So I thought one of the ways as an owner you should be thinking is how to automate as much as you possibly can of this system. Because if you've gone through the first couple courses, we've talked about knowing your numbers, why you should, the benefits, how to practically know your numbers. But at the end of the day, you don't want to be doing this. You do not want to be the one entering these numbers. You do not want to be the one having to reconcile a lot of these things. You don't want to be actually putting it into a spreadsheet. Okay, I'll take that back. There are some entrepreneurs I know that really like this side of their business and they want to be entering the numbers. But is that really the highest and best use? To actually enter transactions. Your highest and best use is to get the actual benefit from the entering all those day-to-day operations. It's those reports, it's the decisions you can make. So how can you automate a lot of that? How can you automate systems in order to actually automate your accounting? That's what we're going to get into here. So number one, are you working with a profitable bookkeeper? Are you actually working with someone that's profitable to you? Before I go into like a list of working with a profitable bookkeeper, it's a story time again. So this one really isn't more a story, but one I read in a book about the list of what employees think about during the day versus what you think of in a day. So let me read this list here. What of an employee and what's on their mind during the day? Taking care of the kids, holding the marriage together, planning for upcoming weekend, planning for upcoming holidays and vacations, planning a night out with the girls and guys, getting the bills paid, grocery shopping, finding out who slept with or office gossip, who will win American Idol, social relationships at the office, social activities at the office, getting to work on time, getting off work on time or early if possible, compliance with the program at your office. And the last thing they think about, how much profit can I produce for the company today? So that's what an employee thinks about. What does the owner think about, or what are you thinking about? One thing, how much profit can we produce today? So a lot of the employees that you're working with probably have a lot of things going on in their life. They probably have things where they're normal people. They are people. They should be treated as your most important asset because they really are. Because at the end of the day, they are people. They are not an asset. They are someone, a living, breathing person that is going to help you be able to get where you want to go. And you know what? It's great when you can help them turn around and get where they want to go. But saying all that, they need to be profitable for you. So a bookkeeper, this could even be a vendor that you're working with. Are they profitable for you? Number one, do they have a mindset of profitability and keeping that in front of you? Bookkeepers are great at doing this, or should be great at doing this, because they're in your books all day, every day, should be going over your transactions, so they should be nudging you, like if there's anything that comes up, they should be looking out for you. But are they keeping, number two, your books without hassle? They shouldn't be coming to you over every little thing if they can get that information somewhere else. A lot of this depends on you and the systems you have for getting them that information. If you have a clear-cut system where you can literally take an expense or income and tell them this is the date it happened, this is who made this transaction, and this is what property it was tied to or what the general expense was for or income was for, that will help you with your systemability and systematizing of the financial part of your business. This is all about automating your accounting, all about automation. How can you do that? Have a system in place to get it to your bookkeeper so they don't have to hassle you. Number three, keeping the books up to date. They need to make sure if they're a profitable bookkeeper, they're keeping them up to date to the expectation that you set. If you're like, I want a report every week, as long as I get that report every week and I'm giving you the information you need, I want it done every week or every day or at the end of every month or every quarter. You have to set that realistic expectation. I would say do it at least on a weekly or monthly basis at the bare minimum. But if you want it to be every day, you're going to have to know you're going to have good systems in place to get a bookkeeper then that information that you really need. Number four, generating the reports you need to make decisions. So are they doing that for you? Do they know the reports you want to see? They can run some of the just bland ones like the profit and loss and the balance sheet, the ones that are already pre-built in there. But is there a special report you want to see, like a property P&L? Because then they're going to have to figure out how to get that and make sure that they're giving that to you. Like if you say, we just closed on this property last week, you said the entries are all done, can you send me the report on what we made on this property? A good bookkeeper should be able to pull that report, because as long as you've been telling them the whole time where the expenses are going, where the income came from, they should have been assigning that to that property over its lifetime, and you should be able to get that report pretty easily. Is your bookkeeper allowing you to work on higher level tasks? This is kind of what I was talking about, where you have some of the entrepreneurs and owners that are more financially minded. They know their books better because they're actually doing their books. But at the end of the day, like I was saying, is actually making that entry really a high dollar per hour task? Is it really something that you need to pay yourself? Because let's just say you're making $100 an hour as a fix and flipper, or as a real estate lender, you're making thousands of dollars an hour just because of the time that it takes you to actually make a loan. So your time could be anywhere from $100 to $1,000 per hour. So why don't you get that off of your plate for $25, $30 an hour with a good bookkeeper that actually helps you input those entries, so that way you can take the actual high dollar per hour activities like reading the reports and making decisions from those reports, get that off of your plate. So that way that bookkeeper is helping you get those higher dollar per hour tasks onto your plate. So that way you don't have to be doing the things like the entries and whatnot that goes into building those reports. So are you working with a profitable CPA? So are you working with someone on the tax side of your business that's actually helping you on that side too? So are they doing all they can to reduce your tax liability? Are they keeping up on tax laws for your sake? Are they talking to where you can understand them? This is a big one that I see. Now, I'm not personally a CPA, but I work with a good network of CPAs. And a lot of the issues that I see is that the CPA talks their language. A CPA has their own language, just like a real estate investor has your own language. You go out on the street to someone who's not a real estate person and you say ARV, they're going to say, what's ARV? So you have your own language, and the CPAs have their own language. So sometimes you need that bridge there. That's where I can really see the owner and the CPA and help be that bridge to say, this is what they really meant. This is how you can implement it. And that's not just to say for my services, that's also to say, do you know what they're actually telling you? Can your CPA put it on that bottom shelf? Do you need someone to interpret that? Because at the end of the day, you need to be knowing what they're saying, because usually they're going to be saving you a lot of money in taxes and time, and they could even help you boost your profitability. So are they talking to where you can understand them? Are they a crucial part of your team? Your CPA, is that someone you talk to once a year? Or is that someone that you talk to on a regular basis? Hey, this is something that we're thinking of doing. Do you think that this would be advantageous on the tax side of things? Making sure that you're making decisions that, I'm not saying you have to run every single decision by them. You need to make sure you have a system and a process to say, okay, we're going down this other path. We're thinking about buying this apartment building when we've been in single family residences. What is my tax liability for this apartment building versus what I think it is for the single family residences? So decisions like that, are they a crucial part of your team where they can actually help you make those decisions? So are you working with a profitable CPA? Just a value add here. Having someone focused on your finances will be one of the biggest value adds you can bring to your business and take that headache off of you, because you are probably worried about what's coming in, what deal are we going after today, what are we selling today, what rentals do we have today, did we get all the checks in from all the tenants? You're probably wondering about your operations, your marketing and sales. So if you say, I hate my finances, I hate the accounting side of things, there's no way I want to mess with numbers, that's why automating your accounting is so important. You need a good system where, as an owner, you can say, this is what I really want to see, this is what I really want to do inside of my business, and this is where I can add either a bookkeeper, a CPA, an advisor that could come in, tell me where I am, tell me what I need to do, implement that, and make sure that I have a good system for my finances, because you don't want to be a huge portion or a huge part, at least of the day-to-day on that side of things. So I would say automating your accounting and adding someone focused on your actual finances can be one of the biggest things that frees up your time, gives you a lot less stress, and helps you make more bottom line profit, because someone is focused. What you focus on expands. So what you focus on here, if you have someone focused on your profitability, that's just going to help your bottom line grow. So I couldn't talk about automation without actually giving you some of the tips and tools of the trade that you need, and a lot of you we've already alluded to them, but I want to just talk you about a couple of them specifically. So accounting software, you've got QuickBooks, which is one of the big ones out there. They might be expensive, but I recommend the online version because of a lot of the things that they can help take off your plate. And QuickBooks is such a universal system that I recommend QuickBooks for a lot of investors, and some I might not recommend because you might just be starting. That's number 2, Wave for smaller businesses because it's free. And I know, there we go. There's the big value add there. It's free. If you go to waveapps.com, that's where you can actually sign up for a free accounting software where they help you do a lot of the basic accounting. But if you need something that's a little bit more robust, that's where QuickBooks comes in. But if you're just starting out, it would be great if you started off with some type of software, even if it's a free software. And they're a pretty good software. I've used that personally just to see what it's kind of like, and they have good systems inside of there. So, and it is really free, and I would just recommend that for if you're just getting started, if you haven't done many deals, or if you're just doing your first deal or looking to do your first deal. You've got Xero and FreshBooks. I'm not as familiar with those, but those are other accounting softwares, because if you're just like, I hate QuickBooks, the other ones have comparable reporting and data entry, all that different stuff that can help take that off of your plate. One of the biggest things you want to make sure, though, with any accounting software, big tip here, is that it connects to your bank accounts and can, from the bank accounts, come right into the accounting software, because that it just is a double-edged sword for you, and a double-edged, it protects you on both sides. Meaning, like, you know that every single transaction from your bank account is going into your accounting software. At least you have that peace of mind that it's going in there. Then the second step is working with a good bookkeeper or someone to make sure that every entry is apportioned to the right place. So, saying all of that, accounting software and automation is so vitally important with this software that, number one, make sure it does the bank feeds, but make sure it also has the functionality you want to see. Can it give you the reports it wants to give you? And that way, you can just ask a lot of the bookkeepers, a lot of people that are familiar with real estate, yes, this is exactly what it can do, and this is what we know that it can help you save your time. Other software that I recommend that kind of integrates with a lot of the online accounting softwares is Receipt Bank. So QuickBooks has a functionality for receipts. And if you give that to a contractor, it's like a special email address, and they can send their receipts right through QuickBooks. But if you don't have QuickBooks, or you want to explore other options because you've got a different accounting software or whatnot, Receipt Bank, what that does is actually take receipts, like a contractor can take a picture of his receipt, send it into this software, and then it kind of puts it in its category, and then the bookkeeper can take it right from there into the accounting software, and it never hits you as the owner. This is one of the best things that we implemented, because now the owner doesn't have to get involved with every single receipt that comes in, and now it can actually be automated to go right through Receipt Bank or a software like that, so that way they can actually, the bookkeeper can just see where it comes from, the contractor writes which property it was for, bada bing, bada boom, there you go. You've got it inside of your accounting software. Number 2, Bill.com. That one is to pay a lot of the bills for your company, and it cuts checks right from your bank account, or it cuts checks and sends them off automatically, or even if a vendor or contractor signs up through there, they can actually do automatic payments like ACH, so that way it can actually put a lot of that burden off of you and going through a system like that. We use this for a lot of our contractors where they send an invoice through there. The bookkeeper makes sure that it's an actual invoice that should be on there, gets it approved by someone internally, and then it gets paid once a week. So that's another thing. Don't just use the software, implement a system around the software too. Implement a system around the software. So if you have that software, you want to use it to the best of your ability. You want to not only use it, but make a system around it. So like for us, we have all the contractors have it in by a certain time during the week, and then they get paid on a certain day during the week too. So that way every week they know they're going to get paid if they have it in on time and if it's been approved on time. So have a system around your finances too. That just helps your business be an actual business and keeps your sanity, the contractors, your vendors, the people that work with you, their sanity too. And then payroll solutions. Let's say you have a bigger company. You're not just a mom and pop shop, but you're doing a lot of deals, so you have a big team. I would suggest going to this link there to see which one would be right for you, like ADP versus Paychex versus Gusto. Probably for a smaller company, you probably want Gusto or something to that effect, but They all have good solutions for paying paycheck. They do workman's comp, other things too. You could go there to that link to kind of give a breakdown between the 3 companies that offer payroll solutions. QuickBooks also offers it through their accounting software too, but like I said, not everyone's using QuickBooks or doesn't like QuickBooks, so here's just some other software that can help you automate your accounting. So bookkeeping for real estate investors. If you're interested in working with a bookkeeping company that actually does real estate investor books, you can go to that link there, simplecfosolutions.com/bookkeeping. And if you go to that link, that actually is one of the companies that I'm part of, and we make sure we know exactly what you need as a real estate investor, and we work with you pretty intensely on the upfront, making sure we go through a system and a process to make sure that we get everything that we need from you to not hassle you and to not make sure you're not doing those low-level things. So if you're interested in bookkeeping, you can go there. If you already have a bookkeeper, use your bookkeeper. Hopefully give her these videos or him these videos to be able to just be a better bookkeeper. But hopefully this, if you need some help, we can try and help you. If not, hopefully these videos actually help just the mindset of a bookkeeper and what they should be getting you to. Also, just want to hit again, recession-proof business, less stress, more profit. If you want to get the book on Amazon, you can go to the link there at the bottom of the page. And then I'm David Richter, the Simple CFO, Simple CFO Solutions. I really appreciate you coming on this journey with me. Really hope you've enjoyed your time so far. We've just got a few videos left, and see you in the next course.